Hello everyone, we have a game with the black pieces against City NPC, rated 1239. Oops, I meant to go C6. Looks like we're playing a Sicilian, and I don't play the Sicilian, so I have no idea. So we're gonna figure out Sicilian theory through reasoning, starting from move 2. So he develops his bishop, aims at this diagonal on our king. I want to keep developing, but putting your knight here looks pretty bad unless you can go. Anyway, let's just do something normal. E6, just blunting the bishop, saying, hey, you developed it too early. He goes D3, supporting his center and opening up his bishop. Okay. We can actually play D5, can't we? Takes, takes. Okay, so let's play in the center since he's letting us and go D5. I have no idea which variation of the Sicilian, if we're in theory, out of theory, no clue. But he takes the pawn, so we're forced to take back for free. So I already prefer black with the two pawns. He goes back, and we can just develop. So let's just develop a knight towards the center. And he attacks our center with c4, but this has to be bad because it allows us to push past, leaving his bishop terrible. He'll have to trade it off, and we'll have this positional space gain. He'll have a backwards d3 pawn. All good stuff for us and bad stuff for him. So let's push past, gain that space. Okay, he doesn't even go for the bishop, trying to trade it off for a minor piece, which means that we might be able to shut it out of the game if he gives us lots and lots of turns. So he just develops the knight, doesn't threaten anything. We should just continue developing. Minor piece towards the center. He goes h3, trying to prevent our bishop from pinning his knight. We are okay with that. We just want to castle and get our king off of the e-file where it's prone to checks, and then we can get our own rook on the e-file. So he castles because he also doesn't want to be checked. And we have two minor pieces yet to develop. We can develop either one. Let's start with the knight as it's a close quarters piece. So let's move it first. It looks at the center, it coordinates on the dark squares. He develops his knight, potentially to go here. Next move. So we want to develop our last minor piece. So we might as well, we were going to develop it here anyway. It's the most active square. It currently comes with a threat, and it stops his idea. So it's everything you want from a move. And black's position is just a lot better. So even though we mouse slipped into the Sicilian, it worked out in our favor because we know how to play center-oriented development chess, piece activity chess. Even though we don't know anything about Sicilian, so I wouldn't say anything. We know some stuff, but very limited, let's put it that way. So he puts his queen in the worst spot on the board where it can't move. He put it in gel. He also walked into a pin, which doesn't make sense. He also walked into knight jumps that immediately win material, so that doesn't make sense. Uninspired play by this 1239. I expect a little better from a 1239. This is a weird move. If you want to defend your pawn, just bring your knight back home. Bring your bishop here, like, I don't know, do something that doesn't walk into knight b4 winning stuff. So let's improve a piece for free because it also attacks this pawn, which means that bishop or knight takes is devastating. And the game is over in 10 moves against a 1239 when we're out of theory on move 1. So he decides to stay on the diagonal, but that really gets him into trouble because the bishop forks the rook and the queen with the coordination. It also creates a passed pawn on d4. So it creates win conditions, it wins material, takes his central pawn, increases the activity of my piece. So it's, and he probably thought he was losing the queen, which he was, so he gives it up. I guess if he blocks with his bishop, like here, you just take it and his queen's trapped, so his queen is lost. We take it, game is over, he might just resign. He does not resign, he goes on the attack with one piece. Literally one piece, not a single piece is coordinating with it, but he's going for it. Because why not? The eye of the tiger. The blind tiger. So I'm just gonna, maybe, I mean, he's really bad, so maybe I'll just checkmate him, he'll fall for it. Okay, he moves a knight. I kind of want to take the bishop just because it's just a good long range piece. My knight doesn't belong here anyway. Let's just get rid of it. We're up a queen. And now maybe we can try that checkmate. Let's line these guys up. Aim here and then deflect his knight. How do we deflect? Okay, so he stops the checkmate. Shucks. However, he's also trapping his own piece. How long has that been trapped? The second he went here, it's trapped. Yeah, but I moved very quickly because the game is already over. I did a trade, which doesn't ruin anything. I'm threatening weird stuff. I guess this was an oversight, but whatever. His knight's trapped either way, and you're up a queen. Okay, so he sacks the knight. We'll just take it. Now the rook has an open f-file, and his knight is loose. It's undefended. He moves his rook over, but that doesn't do anything. We're going to double stack our rooks, get our last piece in the game, now that we have an open f-file. He attacks our rooks, but we're going to, like, this is good. We want this. Why do we want this? So we can attack his king. Please take our rook. So we're not moving our rook. We're going to let him take it while we, converge on this point. He takes our piece, and we take back, and now we have 4 pieces, all directly aimed at his king. And it's not going to end well for him. So he brings his bishop back into the game on move 22, finally. We could mess around with him and hit it, but let's not do that. I kind of want to just sacrifice. He can't take because check, check, checkmate. It's mate in 3. So if I go here, his rook is trapped. I mean, he's going to get mated either way, so. And what are the chances he doesn't take? Would you take? Be honest. Would you take this knight? Yes or no? Before I said anything. Stop it. Okay, he gives a random check. I tried to move here, but you can't. Okay, more oh, son of a gun. Not so random. He delayed my checkmate in 3. He made it checkmate in more than 3. Okay, so let's win a different way. Let's just get the queen in. Doesn't matter where. I made a mistake. I accidentally let him check me. There's lots of moves, but we could start here, forcing his rook back. And we can go here, pinning his rook because of the coordination. His light square bishop has nothing to do in the game. It's just there. If he ever attacks this pawn, you just push it to dark, and I mean, that's that. So now he's trying to create some type of bind, but it doesn't exist. We just place this guy here. Okay, he gives us a check, but that lets our king out. I think his bishop was better on g6, although he's losing no matter what. This game would have been over if I was paying a little more attention here. took the pawn, and what did he do? Oh yeah, he gave me this check. Maybe I didn't even have a choice. You have to block with the rook. Oh, yeah, here you're supposed to take with the queen. Oh, no, you're not, because then he takes your knight. And you can't move your king, so yeah, you have to take. Okay, so whatever. He just delayed the mate. What can I do? Now he pushes the pawn. I mean, I could push too. He goes back, which threatens this, but not really. And I just push the pawn. Maybe he goes here to sack. Oh, he sacks the rook instead of the bishop. That doesn't make sense. And now we have dark square full control, so that's not going to work. Let's just box his king in by creating the lasers. Now his king can't move. And we could just move the lasers closer to him. So let's push the pawn, connecting lasers. Okay, oh, I almost moved my queen here, but he tricked me, you see. Okay. You could win any number of ways. You could take all those pawns. You could take this with check. You could throw this in with check. You could take his bishop next. You could do whatever you want. You can click off of this video because if you can't win this, you got bigger problems. I mean, I guess he can't escape this way. So we can checkmate him. This forces him here. And then we can close the box with this. His king can't move. And then no matter what he does, that's checkmate. Alright, so I was looking for a way to checkmate him without bringing in the king or getting a queen or doing something else. So we accidentally play a Sicilian. Who knows, that might be one of our future speedruns if you guys suggest it. I'm going to run a poll actually at some point. And look at that, all zeros, 16 cents pawn loss, 98% accuracy on our first accidental speedrun Sicilian game. So anyway, we go center and development, normal. And then he lets us, so center and development for free because it hits the bishop. He takes, so forced move. So we're just going by our normal principles that we play with. He has to move the bishop. And now developing one of your knights makes a lot of sense. So we develop our king side toward the center. He immediately strikes, and I automatically don't like this move. I don't like the positional backwards pawn he creates. So we push past, space gaining. We're already better than white. Development and center. King safety, development, already minus 1.5. 1.5 pawns better. Just by making logical moves. We didn't do anything crazy and no theory. Again, development and center. Development and center for free. Right? So this has nothing to do with, oh, this started out as a Sicilian. It's only a Sicilian if both sides are playing perfect theory. The second one person no longer follows that theory, it's no longer that thing. It's no longer the Sicilian, the caro-kann, or whatever. It's a completely new position, and you have to play it accordingly. But anyway, to tangent. Improving move for free, that's guaranteed to win stuff. It's already completely winning as black. I want you to visually, you should kind of get that sense, right? that it's completely crushing, very dominating, even if the queen escapes to the proper square. But then he goes to the wrong square, which hangs the queen, so that definitely is dominating. We take free stuff, we take free stuff, and then here you can do anything you want. You can develop your pieces, you can kick the knight. But I was like, you know what, this guy's pretty noobish, let me just create this battery, and maybe he'll fall for checkmate just so I can end the game, because I'm up a queen, so. But normally I don't go for just a move like that, but I'll just develop. But here I go for the battery. It's -7. And then I just get my knight out of dodge before he develops his bishop, because it's just, my knight's going to get hit. I'm going to have to waste time moving it. Don't even bother. So I just get rid of it with force. I create the battery, which really is annoying because I can kick the knight and try to deflect the other knight. But he stops me. I kick the knight. It's trapped. Free stuff. Free stuff. Development and king safety. And all of my pieces are coordinating. The bishop and queen have a battery. The rooks have their own battery. The knight is looking at the center and the king. And then we hang a rook on purpose. It's -7. This is a good move, not a bad move. Him taking doesn't help his situation. That knight was a better defender than, let's say, any of his rooks. His bishop is completely useless on the dark squares, so it's -7 and there's nothing he can do. So we take the pawn, and it's probably the best move. Okay, it's not even listed. Not the best move, because the other moves are -10, and this move is only -7. So what's his defense? Oh yeah, because of his defense in the game, he has the check. But I mean, it's -7. So what's -10? What's such a better? What's rook f8? Preparing my move, and there's no check. Get out of here. Okay, so so it's fine. He gives us this check. We're forced to block. Force move, force move. And we're in check, so force move. And now it's completely winning. We improve our queen to the best position, most active. And the rest is just slight maneuvering. You shouldn't feel any hesitation in a position like this, like, oh, how do I win it? He's defending. How do I break this down? Is this kind of a close game? Like, no, it's completely over. Black is -6. He has no defense. You can sack your queen for the rook, because you have this protected pass pawn. You don't want to do it here because of opposite color bishops, because he might try to blockade it. But if these bishops, let's say, are off the board, both of these bishops, if you just throw them off the board, you can immediately, right now on this turn, sack your queen for the rook. He takes back, run your king up, and his king has to babysit your pawn. You win the game. So, I mean, it's just an easy win. But with the bishop on the board, it's easier to attack him because he can't defend with his bishop. So we just kind of maneuver until, well, we end up pushing this pawn, but he can also easily make a mistake here and you could end up checkmating him. But instead we got a queen. But either way, or whatever, he's sacked. So that was a very straightforward game, pretty perfect. And games like this are even easier than the caro-kann when they don't play it accurately and they let you just take the center like this and your pawn's on c5 instead of c6. It's an even better version of everything you see in the caro-kann games. That's why the Sicilian is considered a little better opening. So anyway, hope this helps. If you play the Sicilian, there you go. There's a freebie. And good luck in your chess. I'll see you in the next video.